Hello and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday the 26th of May 2025. It's Gary here again. Thank you very much as always for taking the time to join me, and today to start off with I would like to wish everyone, well not everyone, all Rangers supporters in the United States of America a very happy Memorial Day, which is today. Memorial Day, which was originally known as Decoration Day, is a federal holiday in the United States for honouring and mourning the US military personnel who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. It's observed on the last Monday of May, and it's also considered as the unofficial beginning of summer in the United States. Don't say you never get any educational material on the NARSA weekly update, because that's just blatantly not true. It's kind of refreshing, isn't it, not to have Rangers, what would you say? What's the best word? Like, not annoy your weekend like it has done for quite some time for us. And I have to say, I kind of like it. I'm in that spot now after the season's done where I'm just breathing again. I'm kind of like, right, okay, that's good. I'm glad that's done. And I get to the end, even the best, most successful seasons, I get puffed out towards the end. I really do. And I'm in that spot now where I'm kind of enjoying the rest, enjoying the break, not having to worry or not so much worry, not having to logistically plan for the games and such like that on a weekend, and just know that it's more social time and such. And of course, it's the convention organising time, which I'll get to in a wee bit here. But I don't know, it appears, I hope that it appears that better times are ahead of us in terms of the new ownership consortium and the new management team. And it seems to be the new management team is really gathering pace. And I was listening to David Edgar on the Heart and Hand daily update today, and it seems to be that I believe Chris Jack, also a friend of NARSA, had suggested that the manager would be announced this week, and that's the information that David has as well. I don't know any more than that, and that's literally what he said on the podcast this morning. And it seems to make sense about that. It certainly doesn't look like the new management team is incumbent upon the takeover taking over, in terms of the actual sequencing of events. So get the new manager in, because I think it's actually, what is that? Is that a month today? I think did I read somewhere that the players are back on the 26th of June, so literally a month today. So if you get the new management team in, say within the next week or by the end of this week, they've basically got 3 weeks to get their feet under the table, find accommodation, do what they need to do in terms of their personal and private life, and then actually do the job, which is really literally all we care about. We do care about the person, but that's not the first thing we care about. So they certainly have their work cut out for them. Everyone does, in terms of the new consortium and the new management team. And as always, like, my main and steadfast hope is that this is a change for the better, and more importantly this time one that lasts, because this roller coaster garbage that we've been on for the past 13 years or so is getting boring. And ultimately what we've done, I believe I've talked about this before on the pod, but ultimately what we've done is we've influenced a new generation of Rangers fans who basically don't know any different than this roller coaster that we have for right now. This incessant inconsistency, the up and down, the way that we were being led, the communications challenges that the club has had, the inability to be able to stand up and fight for ourselves, and just lack of success overall. Obviously we've had a Scottish Cup, a League Cup, and a league in the last few years, but that's nowhere near enough, absolutely. And it's absolutely high time that this was changed. And I go back to the conversations I have with Leo, my son, is 16, and we were winning the league when he was a baby, but he doesn't remember that. All he remembers is this monotony of garbageness that we've endured, and he's quite forthright about saying, I don't want to go and watch that. Everyone's just upset. Everyone's just angry, and it's not very entertaining. And I would never force him to do anything. You get selected to be a Rangers fan. You don't just suddenly choose. And he's not as into it as he should be at this point, because he doesn't understand the fabric of the organisation, the fabric of the club, the institution, I should say, in terms of our ability to consistently challenge and regularly win things. And it's the same with my love, Erin, as well. We've been together for quite some time, and it's just been this garbageness, and I keep using the word garbage. I won't use it after this particular sentence here, but it's time we got beyond that. It's time we laid proper foundations for the club and moved forward with intention, moved forward with intensity, and moved forward with purpose to give us something to actually genuinely, literally cheer about season after season. So in terms of the game segment, obviously the men's first team is now done. So I'll mention here the women's team. Of course, they secured the Women's Scottish Cup yesterday by an absolutely brilliant performance and victory over Glasgow City. The game was basically done within about 50 minutes, 49, 50 minutes, something like that. 2-0 up at half-time, scored fairly quickly after the second half, and then everything was A-OK. 2 goals from Kirsty Howitt and 1 from Mia McCauley, seen the 2 cups, the 2 knockout cups, going to Ibrox again for the second season in a row. That's 2 cup doubles. Congratulations, absolutely congratulations to both. And then when you add in the fact that they got beat last season, or the season before last, I guess I should say now because it's technically done, that season, what would that be, 23-24 on goal difference, and then season 24-25 they took it to the last game of the season, had to win the game and got beat at Ibrox. That could have been 2 trebles very, very easily, and unfortunately it hasn't been. So they need to kick on. They need to win the games that they need to win and get the points they need to get to make this league, theirs, ours, I guess I should say, in that respect. So congratulations to Jo Potter and her team, and well done on 2 trophies this season, but it's not the one that we wanted, and I think they would be overly I think they would be open to admitting that. So in terms of the shout-outs for this week, I firstly would like to congratulate Bramalea Rangers Supporters Club's Stuart McFarlane, who retired from the National Hockey League after 41 years. I just happened to be on Facebook. I'm very, very rarely on social media, apart from LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn and I do that for my business. And although I post on Facebook for my business, I don't typically go there, so when I'm on it, it's kind of like a fluke, or I'm looking for someone, or I'm looking for something. I get these wee reels that give me these comedy skits, and they're really funny, so that's what I was looking for. And I noticed that Stuart popped a note on Facebook saying that he was retiring after 41 years, over 1,700 games, 2 World Cups, 2 All-Star games, 1 Canada Cup, and 1 Global Series. And my understanding is he probably, I would imagine, in 41 years had a number of different types of jobs. When I last chatted with Stuart, what he was doing was he would be in the main kind of hub, if you like, and if there was something that had to be reviewed on camera afterwards, him and his team would be the ones that would be looking at that. Was that over the line? Was there any interference in the play or anything? I guess like VAR ultimately. So an incredible career. I mean, that's a long time to be with any organisation, and Stuart is a great guy. He's been a friend of NARSA for quite some time. He did mention in the post there that part of the reason for his retirement was health issues. So I hope it's nothing serious, and I hope that your retirement gives you that opportunity to convalesce and get better, my friend. On behalf of everyone at NARSA, congratulations and enjoy a very, very healthy and well-earned retirement, Stuart. We did get confirmation last week of players leaving the club, and this was kind of commensurate with the announcement that Barry Ferguson and team weren't continuing with the club after the season was done, literally within 24 hours, actually probably less than 24 hours of the season being done, with the last game at Hibs, and we've now had confirmation that Yanis Hadji, Leon Balogun and Tom Lawrence were all leaving the club on the expiration of their contracts, and Vaclav Cherny, I'm going to murder the name, Neasho Casemiro and Rafael Fernandez were all returning to, because they were on loan of course, were all returning to their parent clubs. It was quite interesting. I know there was a lot of talk towards the end of the season. I think Cherny's loan spell was a success, had a bit of a dodgy start, but really did well for us, scored a lot of really important goals and contributed a lot, and also gave some of their Mankey fans a wash at Sharkhead not so long ago, so that was brilliant as well. Casemiro was very unfortunate to be injured in international duty, and he just came back at the end of the season, which was odd, wasn't it, to continue with us for what would that be, 9 months or so that he was out injured? Maybe not quite as long as that, but 7 months or so, and then come back for a couple of games at the end, and then off he goes back to his parent club. I don't know if that was just part of the agreement or whatever. And Rafael Fernandez, just didn't see enough of him, so that's one of these things. I know there was talk about Tierney possibly having the ability to stay on, but this also lends itself to what I was saying at the beginning of the podcast today in terms of the new club, the takeover being confirmed in terms of administration and legal confirmation of that doesn't seem to be stopping key decisions being made for key positions at the club, and obviously playing staff are key positions there too. So very interesting. Thank you. The reason I raised that on the shout out section is just thank you to every single one of them for your contribution while you were with us, and all the very, very best to each and every one of you on your future. There was also a feature, it's kind of been mentioned over the last wee while, but it started to come to the fore because of the actual anniversary of Helicopter Sunday, and that's the 20th anniversary, of course. And Rangers TV have done a documentary, an hour or so long, in terms of what that looks like, but they've actually done a 14-minute trailer that you can access for free if you're not a subscriber to Rangers TV or you don't feel like or don't want to pay for it. And I haven't watched the actual full documentary yet. I want to sit down and watch that when I have a bit more time, but I did watch the 14-minute trailer, and man, was it ever good. I cannot wait truly to watch the full thing. Just the memories, just the background, just the ability to recall what was said, seeing Marvin Andrews, because the story of Marvin Andrews, for maybe folks that don't know it, was he was injured. He had I think it was MCL, maybe ACL injury X amount of weeks before Helicopter Sunday, and at the time he had said, I'm not going to go for surgery. I don't believe in surgery. God will heal me. And I distinctly remember an interview with Alex McLeish, and they were saying, what do you do about this? I mean, the medical staff, this is a known thing that he needs an operation to repair this, and then it will be 6 to 9 months of recovery or something like that. And Alex McLeish, and this is one of the things I loved about Alex McLeish, he always got the raw, honest passion from him, and he said, I don't know, I've never been put in this position before. I'm really not sure what to do. And then he came back after 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, he came back and contributed to the last 4, 5, 6 games, whatever it was, of Helicopter Sunday. And of course, you'll remember the Keep Believing. Marvin says, keep believing. And then the T-shirts came out after that, the wristbands. I had a wristband saying keep believing for years and years and years after that. So if you get a chance to go watch it, please do go and watch it. The trailer, even if nothing else, go watch the trailer. Trailers are usually 2 minutes long, aren't they? For Rangers to put out a 14-minute one was very kind and generous of them, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, go check that out if you can. And I guess from a shout-out perspective, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but now's probably a good time to mention the failed treble attempt. What is it? Fail? Is that the song? Treble attempt by that mob. It was great to see. I watched the highlights. I never watched them unless we were playing with them. But when I heard that they got beat, I went back and looked at. I was trying to just find the penalties, but it ended up showing the game as well, very brief. And in terms of chances, like actual genuine chances created, there didn't seem to be too much in it. It wasn't like an absolute battering or anything like that, but probably possession and maybe overall shots or something might tell a different story. Who cares? It doesn't matter. They got beat. But the reason I mention it is that I truly believe. And I think it was maybe Brian Campbell that mentioned this first on the NARSA group chat on the weekend there, and I absolutely agree with it, that mob knows that this was their last attempt at an easy treble, and they failed on that. And having just beaten Aberdeen at Pittodrie, what was that, 2 weeks ago, 5-0, something like that, and then to go and get beat, and to see the two guys that missed the penalties, couldn't have happened to two nicer guys. They cheated their way to the League Cup, and I don't want to go back over that again. We should have had the penalty. Tav would have scored the penalty. We would have won the Cup, and who knows how the season would have unfolded after that. They had the league at a canter. There was a wee tiny door open, or a wee tiny door ajar round about the Christmas period, and then we absolutely conspired to make a complete mess of that and go further behind actually after beating them as well. So shame on us for that. So they weren't really challenged in the league. But what we did see yet again in the aftermath of that, if you've seen anything online or anything, was, I mentioned earlier, we have a generation of younger fans coming up kind of going, I don't know if I get this so much. I certainly don't seem to be it doesn't seem to be as enjoyable as previous generations and such. When you've seen how their fans reacted to that, they're just a generation of absolute entitlement, and they don't know how to lose with grace and dignity. And that's gonna. I hope that we're talking a lot about that as next year unfolds, and we have another opportunity to see Sharkhead in full flow. So I don't want to say congratulations to Aberdeen, because I don't like them just as much as they don't like us. But great to see them being knocked down, a notch or two. Another shout out here for the Melbourne City Loyal Rangers Supporters Club Culture Weekend, November 21st to 22nd. The 9 in a row, Ian Ferguson, Gary Stevens, and Stuart McFarlane are all going to be there as a boat cruise. There's a dinner and such like that, and I'll continue to leave the link on there between now and November, which, based on the way time is going, the older I get, it's going to come in pretty quickly. In terms of the NARSA convention, I'm glad I'm sitting down for this part. It's 17 days. It's in the teens now. It's 17 days and 2 weeks until I hop on a plane and I go and spend time with a number of other Blue Noses down in Kissimmee, Florida. That's, of course, June the 12th to the 15th. And we do still have tickets for sale, 3-night packages for sale for $265. There's a 2-night package for the Thursday, Friday for $100. And there's a 1-night package for the Walter Smith Memorial Grand Banquet on sale for $170. And please get going on purchasing your tickets for those so that we can figure out what that looks like up to and including the convention week. I'm sure there'll be the odd last minute purchase and stuff. I did facilitate a purchase just a wee bit before recording here today. Right now it's 11:15 a.m. for me. We did get 3 tee-off times for the golf, and that's now completely sold out. So if you're looking to golf, you're going to be on a wait list until we can see whether we can secure another tee time. I did ask for another tee time last week, but with it being Memorial Day weekend, it possibly just got a little bit buried under the finishing last minute things before things get organised and such. And the football is out for booking. We do have a few spots there to be able to make up 2 full teams of 11 there. So what we're going to do this week is get the golf and the football on the NARSA website so you can go on and pay in advance, so we're not messing around with payments or cash or anything like that on the day as much as possible. Anyway, so we are still waiting on confirmation of who from a leadership perspective is coming from the club. I did have some dialogue last week with representatives from the club and have a rough idea who they are targeting, and I don't think we're going to be disappointed if it works out to be that case. But obviously with the way that the club is right now, with the takeover happening and with the new management team coming in, it's a wee bit different. Now, the same could be said for every single year. There's always something going on. This year, it's I say all this and I feel all this with way less judgment than I typically do, because this is a big deal this year, and I would much rather the leadership stay and get it right for next season than interrupt the flow and fly over, as much as I would absolutely love to see everyone there represented at the convention. Another reminder, if you're on a UK passport, to get your ESTA, to get organised, to get into the States. You've probably heard of lots of people getting different types of styles of challenges at the border when they're coming over, and you don't want any hassle when you get there. You're just looking to get to the convention property as quickly as you can. So thanks again to my lovely sister Debbie for the reminder on that one. And one final reminder, if you're looking to get your club magazine advert in the magazine for this year, you've basically got like 24 hours from now. So if you listen to this on Thursday, you're too late. And if you were planning to do it and you didn't get to it, then kind of shame on you for that. I know that everyone's busy, but we've been trying to get this organised. Colin's done a fantastic job with the magazine. This one's going to be, they're all great, but this one is genuinely going to be one for the ages. And if you're looking to get your magazine advert in there, please do so. As a 2-time host in terms of the Rangers Supporters Club of Calgary, we've always really appreciated the support for the magazine to be able to help produce a quality product and give some a keepsake to people that they will treasure for the rest of their days and such. And that's what Colin's doing, and it always really makes a difference when NARSA clubs are supporting NARSA clubs, and that's been very sparse on that for this season, folks. So if you were planning to do it, please get on it as quickly as possible, and Colin can actually help you with the design. I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, so we'll figure that part out as we're going forward. In terms of the convention, once again, a reminder that we do have our annual general meeting on the Saturday afternoon for NARSA members, and there might be a wee bit of a private Q&A with some of the VIPs that are there too afterwards. We'll see how that goes. And the main thing for the AGM this year is it is an election year, and basically anyone that wants to be involved in it, you can get in touch. There are some positions that are up for grabs. Excuse me, the VP, potentially the secretary, the treasurer, possibly the marketing and sponsorship and marketing director is up for grabs as well. So you can get in touch, rangersscc@hotmail.com, 2 S's and 2 C's, and I would be happy to give you a call and tell you a wee bit more about us and what we're hoping and planning to do in the future. In terms of communication, no Gers guide this week. I imagine there would be some Rangers women's team highlights today going out, but nothing else. I don't know what else would be planned. I hope as the week progresses that we have a lot of content based on the new management team. It does look like it's going down to David Ancelotti and Steven Gerrard, and Russell Martin kind of seems to be in the mix a wee bit, but I don't know. I don't know. My preference, just to put it on the record, would be that Steven Gerrard comes back, but I kind of honestly don't mind as long as we get a manager who can put a team on the park that wins, and I genuinely mean that. And I say Steven Gerrard because my tattoo, and that's a different story for a different day. If you haven't heard the story and you're coming to the convention, ask me about it then. And just one last wee, or I guess a couple of last wee shout outs. The Rangers Ladies Lunch presented by Molten Brown is back by popular demand. The article on the Rangers website said, join us for an afternoon of fun and frolics at Edmiston House presented by Parks Motor Group on Friday the 22nd of August, starting with a Rangers Legends cocktail on arrival before enjoying a delicious 2-course meal served with a glass of fizz. The afternoon will include live music, special guests, and the return of your favourite Rangers DJ to light up the dance floor. Every guest will receive a luxury goodie bag from the event's presenting partner Molten Brown. The dress code for the afternoon is smart casual, but as always, glamour and glitter is encouraged. Tickets are on sale for Edmiston House official supporters now, and there will be a general sale starting tomorrow, the 27th of May at 11 a.m. UK time. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can go ahead and get into that. And just another shout out for the 5 Stars event with Barry Ferguson, Allan, McGregor, Neil McCann and Billy Dodds on Saturday the 3rd of January at the Doubletree by Hilton in Glasgow Central. Tickets are £80 or £120 if you go for the VIP option there. Okay, with very little football to talk about, that will do it for this week, my friends. As always, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you very, very, very much for taking the time to listen, and please do share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. Everything, I mentioned this last week, everything is absolutely 100% being poured into the convention now to get us organised, to get us ready, to put on the best possible event, as we always do. So if you're coming to join us, hopefully you get to see the fruits of our labour. If you're not, you'll get to see online how it all unfolded, and hopefully there'll be a wee pang of envy or regret that you didn't actually make the journey over to see us. But everything is all about the convention now, folks. I'll mention more about that next week and as we go forward. Until next week, please do take care of yourself and all the very, very, very best. Okay, follow.